Good morning, students. Today, we'll start with a new topic, that is federalism. Federalism is a system of government where the power is shared between the central government and its various constituent units. Now, before we move further with the chapter federalism, let's have a quick recap for the previous chapter that we have studied, that is power sharing. In power sharing, we saw examples of two different countries, that is Belgium and Sri Lanka. In Belgium, we saw equal power sharing between both the communities, that is the Dutch as well as the French. In Sri Lanka, we saw that there was a lack of power sharing between the Sinhalese and the Tamils. The Dutch and the French shared the power equally between them, and that is the reason they flourished in all their segments, that is political, social, economic, and cultural. But due to lack of power sharing in Sri Lanka, they had a civil war between the Sinhalese and the Tamils. So it is evident that if the power sharing is seen between the different countries, then they will prosper in all their particular factors. So let's start with the chapter again, that is federalism. Like I said, federalism is a system of government where the power is shared between the central government and the state government and the third government, that is the local self-government. Federalism basically has only two levels of government, that is central and state. But at times, they may also utilize the third level, that is the local self-government, for a further or a better administration. The central government looks after the common interest for the entire national citizens, whereas the state government will look after the day-to-day administration of their own particular state. The state government has power of its own, and they are not answerable to the central government. They have their independent power to take their own decisions, pass their own bills regarding their needs and demands according to their state. But the state and the central government are directly answerable to the people and not to each other. The power is also given to the courts to decipher the constitution, to provide all the rules, the guidelines, and the regulations to both the central and the state government for their proper functioning and a transparent way of government. So that is about the meaning of federalism. Let's move towards the next topic, or the different levels of power sharing. It is divided into two types, that is the horizontal way of power sharing and the vertical way of power sharing. In horizontal way of power sharing, we saw the power was shared between the three organs of the government, that is legislature, executive, and the judiciary. They are also known as the check and balance system because they have a supervision on each other even though they are independent. On the other hand, we saw about the vertical way of power sharing, wherein the power is shared between the center, the state, and the local self-government. That is about the federal way of government. Now, in this map, you can find 25 out of the 193 countries who share the federal way of power sharing between their countries. And these 25 countries make the total 40% of the population of the entire world. Now, we move towards the next important topic, that is the key features of federalism. There are 7 key features of federalism. We'll learn it one by one. First of all, there are 2 or more levels of government. The basic ones are the central and the state government. But at times, there are also the third level of government that is utilized, that is the local self-government. The existence and the authority of each level of government is constitutionally guaranteed. That is, they run by all the rules, the regulations, and the guidelines that is given by the Constitution, and they are independent of each other. The fundamental of Constitution cannot be changed by one level of government. Both the central and the state government have to agree together to make any changes in the fundamentals of a Constitution. One single level of government cannot make the entire change. Moving further, the courts have the power to interpret the Constitution, and they will check the powers that is given to each level of government, so that neither of the government, that is the central or the local government or the state government, misuses their power. In case of any issue or in the case of any problem between them, the highest court, that is the Supreme Court, will act as an umpire and try to solve all the issues that is faced by them. Also, the sources of revenue or the sources of income for all the levels of government has been constitutionally guaranteed so that they may have a financial autonomy between them in order to avoid any kind of discrepancies or issues between the three levels of government. Now, finally, the last key feature is the federalism follows a dual objective. First is to safeguard and promote unity of the country so that there may be no kind of discrimination based on any culture, caste, or creed. And the second point, that is, they will accommodate the regional diversity. Accommodating regional diversity, that means there are different states and there are different regional, there are different culture, and there should not be any kind of discrimination between them. So students, these are the main key features of federalism that we have studied. Now let's move to the next topic, that is ideals of federalism. Ideals of federalism, one is mutual trust and the second one, that is agreement to live together. If these two ideals are utilized in a better way, in a transparent way, then the federal type of government will flourish in all its factors. Students, now we will start with the types of federations. There are two types of federations, coming together federation and holding together federation. The coming together federation is where the different individual states will join together to form one single nation or one bigger unit. This is done in order to maintain the identity as well as to maintain the security and sovereignty of all the different individual states. Each state is independent, each state is strong, but they join together to form one single nation. The examples are USA, Switzerland, and Australia. So that is about coming together federation. Next, we move to what is the holding together federation. In holding together federation, the main country divides its power between its different constituent units or the states. It helps in accommodation of diversity. It helps in accommodation of all the individual powers that is required by all the different states. Some states might be given more power. The ultimate power, though, lies in the hand of the central government. Everyone will be given their independent powers, but the final authority or the final power lies in the hands of the central government. For example, India, Spain, and Belgium. So students, this is about the types of federations, that is the holding together federation and the coming together federation.